pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. For roll call.
Frank Gonzalez. Not present yet. Destiny Bertucci. Here. Kathy Dunbar. Here. Marcus Podell.
Here.
Lawrence Davis.
Here.
Myself, Janice Podell, present.
Have a quorum. Move to approval of today's agenda. There are no issues with today's agenda. Can I get a motion to approve today's agenda?
Motion to approve.
Destiny, can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor? Next, approval of minutes from 10/30/25. Everybody should have had an opportunity to review these. These ones were actually ones that should have been previously approved. No changes have been made. You guys have had an opportunity to review them. If there's no questions, comments, or concerns, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from 10/30/25?
I move to.
Kathy, can I get a second?
Second.
Destiny, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's been approved. Approval of minutes from 12/10/25. Again, you guys have reviewed these. They were sent out ahead of time. If there were no questions, comments, or concerns on the minutes from 12/10/25, I get a motion to approve those minutes. Approval motion. This is made a motion. Can I get a second?
I second.
Kathy, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's been approved. Comments, questions from community audience members?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Since the last meeting, we've got an ordinance now for committee, commission, and advisory board rules of procedure. So I just want to give you guys a copy of that, so that way you know how the meetings run and the decorum and all that good stuff. Of course.
Thank you so much.
Yes, very welcome. Do you need one? Counselor Howe? Or are you good? Okay. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much, everyone. So we have received the ordinance 2026-01, and it is our responsibility as committee members to become familiar with this and make sure that we execute upon their guidance. So I ask that you do so. Old business, none to bring up, so that moves us to new business. A fortified structure site visit, 12/24/26. I'll start that out and transition it over to Lawrence for comments. We did have a visit by Fortified Structures, previously known as BuiltWise, on the 24th of February. It was a wonderful site visit. The owner and 3 other personnel flew up here, along with one of those individuals was their engineer. They surveyed the land, went back, and they are now supposed to be drafting a proposal to give to us to review. Once we review that, depending on any issues, we will obviously forward that to the village for consideration. No major issues or red flags at this time. One of the big things that they did mention is that if there are no hiccups, they will be able to execute and actually have it finished by the end of the summer. So that was really good news on our part. So one of the things that we did address with Fortified Structures is, since this is going to be a phased project, the first phase obviously will be the initial quote that they're going to provide with the village. But we have also asked them to, when they complete that, to provide us with a phase 2 estimate that will show the additional 4 cabins, in the community building, what that layout will look like in addition to what we have, and ultimately the costs, so that we can go back down to legislation, obtain that funding to finish it. So I will transition it over to Lawrence for the rest of it.
Okay, some very impressive company. They have a huge hangar down at Roswell Airport, old aircraft hangar. And they've mass produced these buildings. They said they were probably going to work on building 4 of our cabins a day. That's really hard to imagine. But that's the kind of company it seems to be. And we were very impressed. We got to visit it and see how they do that mass production line and run their things through. And then they build modular houses on top of that. They take the various rooms and pieces and parts and roofs and so forth. And put together houses. We saw one of the housing conditions. We were down there visiting them, just to give you all an idea. May want to look at them. I know, once they get up here, we'll connect you up if you want to come talk to them. We're able to use our engineering, which we'd previously paid for, so the engineer said he could use that. And they are going to do the whole sewer, water, and electric installations for us. And included in that is the future for the phase two connections for all those utilities into those new buildings as well. So we're getting that done early. And then they talked even about helping us out with sidewalks. So wait to see what they propose when they put it together in the final estimate. I was hoping we had one by now, but it's been 2 weeks, so we'll see if we can give them a little boost in that. Ask them why we're not getting anything yet, but you'll know about it. And I guess the question for me is how much lead time do you need on approving this contract? But is it on the order of weeks or?
Mr. Chairman, committee members. So fortunately, it fluctuates quite a bit. I've had it take 2 days to get a contractor approved. I've had it take 2 months. Depends on what our lawyer is doing. I would split that in the middle and expect a month. And then that would be just to get it to come back and go to council, which, we'd like to do. There are a couple of things, and I don't know when it's appropriate, that I just want to, that I had some, I don't know about concerns in the right way that I was curious about. Let's say that. So I don't know if this is an appropriate time.
Go for it.
But one thing is with building sites and all, I think y'all need to make sure that y'all have sufficient water rights to supply those, and the state has a square footage condition that has to be put on it. You're not subject to the villages. The village has that also, but since you're outside the village, you don't have to do that. But you just don't want to get all the way down and then find out you don't have enough water for the square footage that you're putting in.
Our original engineer told us that we did. He wants a 10,000 gallon tank to cover the fire situation as well, and that our well would easily.
So
He's talking about right.
rights to the water, yeah, because I think that a domestic well has an acre foot or something like that a year. And if you go beyond a certain square footage, that could be expanded to more, which means you might have to acquire water rights, which are hard to find
I understand.
and they're not cheap. So I just want to make sure
Sure.
that you did that. And, I'm not an expert in it, so you may be fine or whatever. I just something you want to.
Understand.
I think that you want to look into. The only other thing that I really wanted to say is that one of the things that you'll be doing and working with Rocky is Rocky will be processing for you all of your purchasing. So once we get a contract for that, Rocky will submit that contract to open a PO. PO must be open before any work can be done. And then as you get invoiced, keep in mind, as a government agency, we cannot pay for work that is not done. So we can't prepay. So some contractors struggle with that. It's just statutorily not allowed. Now we can set up, like we're building the new fire station that we're looking to start in April. And that contractor is just gonna send us a monthly bill and they're gonna itemize everything they've done that month. And it's not like the house has to be built, but they have to specify, here are the fees for this work that has been completed.
This is going to be a CES contract. We already told them that Rocky's the POC and they've done this lots of times.
So the same thing comes over. CES just means that we don't have to go out to RFP. That the contract is with CES that's been approved by the state. So the pricing, we don't have to go out and get other bids, but the process of paying the bills is the same, whether it's CES or.
So I will say that I did talk to Fortified Structure and made them aware of that payment process. They said they're very familiar with it and have had to deal with it a whole lot. That oftentimes they establish in the contract like gates, which is, this is for the planning aspect, this is for the infrastructure. When your 8 cabins are done and you come down and inspect those off the line, that's this gate. When they're all done and in place and everything's done and the furniture.
So they have experience, so.
If they have experience.
Yeah, it
Shouldn't
sounds
be a
like.
problem.
And we have told them that we're not the subject matter experts, that we're taking this and presenting it to you
If
guys.
they have any questions, they can give us a call.
Yes, sir.
Just so you know, they are building them down there, putting them on trailers. 2 of them fit on one trailer and then they bring a crane and lift them off. They build the slab, put them right down on the slab. That's what they're planning to do.
Yeah, it should be fine. Again, if they're experienced in dealing with government agencies, which they probably are since they're a CES vendor, I'm sure we'll work it out. I just, being new, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't overlooked.
Sure.
Thank you.
The only other thing that I was gonna say was that we need to make sure that they bill the Village of Angel Fire. They shouldn't
Yes, understood.
bill veterans loans.
Yeah, we understood. Yeah.
Senator, question for you. Do you feel like this property requires a geotechnical survey?
That's gonna be a condition of the appropriation. And it might be a safe thing to do, but if the appropriation doesn't call for it and CID doesn't require it, that's it. My question to you is, since these are modular, they're gonna be the motorhome, they're gonna be the CID, not the mobile home division, right? Because they have 2 different inspectors at the state, one for mobile homes and one for,
Manufacturers and some for modulars.
okay.
If it's a modular, it requires CID.
Okay, so it's gonna be,
If it's a manufacturer.
I just wasn't sure.
Inspection.
Gotcha.
Well, these are gonna be tiny homes, so they're 400 square foot or less.
It's how they're actually laid out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a tiny home designation isn't as important as how it's connected to the ground. If you have a slab, it's a permanent foundation.
Everything like,
Slab foundation.
It may be CID.
And I told all this to the engineer, and he understood. He's very experienced. He used to be the city of Roswell engineer.
I'm sure there is. I just would rather bring it up and be
Sure.
duplicated than,
Sure.
have it show up as an issue later.
I'm glad you're asking me, so we
Yeah.
can make sure we hadn't skipped anything so far.
So all of that, once we get the contract approved, it'll go to Rocky. Rocky can't, well, it'll go to Ileana for processing. It'll go to Rocky so he can open a PO, and then the invoices, as y'all get them, either they can mail them to us or they give them to you for review prior to giving them, then you'll give them to Rocky and he'll process the payments.
understood. Yeah, she came up, the person who's responsible for doing all the billing. I came by to try to establish contact with you, and I think you were out for a couple of weeks, and so we weren't able to connect you to. So we've got her name, and again, we're not gonna step on any toes. We're definitely,
And speaking of that, Rocky will be out for 2 more weeks again, starting next week.
okay.
Still available by.
Yeah, he's still gonna be available by phone, but he won't be here.
Sure.
I think that's all I have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Anything else about the fortified structure visit? Questions, comments, or concerns? If not, that moves us to the next meeting date.
I would suggest June 24th at 4 p.m.
June 24th at 4 p.m. Does anybody have any objections to that? Does that work with you guys?
It's available.
It's available?
Yes, sir.
All right, we can lock that in.
Yes.
So we've got June 24th at 4 p.m. is our next meeting. Hopefully we got some more exciting news. That's all I've got, so we'll adjourn this meeting.